Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. I hope that you all are in your virtual seats and ready for a wonderful experience. How are you all, my Freestyle Friday experts?
Great.
That's your nice sunshine way of saying great.
Great.
Yeah, doing well.
Very, very glad to have you both on today. And, you know, we haven't been on in a while together. So I'm quite excited about us being able to come together on a Friday. And everybody, you know, on Fridays, we talk about topics that matter to you, the ones that you feel are important, that you want to just throw out. So feel free to let us know whatever is pressing in your heart, your spirit, and we'll be honored to talk about it. And then we also always have a topic ready to discuss as well. So today we're talking about transitions. And all different types of transitions. When we think about that, that encompasses quite a few things. Some people, when we're transitioning in life, we're transitioning from a personal perspective, from a professional perspective, from a spiritual or an emotional type of perspective. So it's a lot of different avenues when it comes to dealing with life's transitions. So any transitions that you're dealing with, please let us know, and how you might be able to get some help from the experts that are here today. Our self-carepreneur, which is a person that deals with finances, health, wealth, you name it, over there, Sharon D. Brown. Sharon, say something about yourself, please.
Yeah. So my name is Sharon D. Brown, and I'm the founder of Self-Care Academy. And this is where I help entrepreneurs and leaders to survive and thrive under pressure. And there's a lot that comes with that.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And I know with you, you focus not only on just self-care tips and things, but you focus on the whole person. Talk a little bit more about that too.
Yeah, it's really important to focus on the whole person, because it's not just about the tips. Because to be honest, if you don't understand why you need the tips and how it works, then to be honest, you're not going to do it. And then not only that, we're not robots. And even though I work in mental health, but it impacts, like you physically, you spiritually. And so if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to impact you in that way. So it's really important to, quote unquote, go 7 layers deep and to put yourself in a deep rest so that you can relax your body, because your body has a way of showing when you're under duress, mentally, physically, spiritually, and all that stuff. So it's really important to really do the thing, but to know why you're doing the things.
That's good. To know why you're doing the thing that you're doing, not just doing it just because somebody told you to do it, but really understanding the depth associated with your decision. And so that's just so beautiful. And when you're going through so many different things in life, to be able to pull back from some of the tips and strategies that are shared right here as a gift on the Kim Jacobs Show, I know it personally makes my heart glad and it makes my life better. So thank you, Sharon D. Brown, for always sharing your expertise. And we have here our sunshine expert. We call her our sunshine expert. And that's Athena Robertson, Elder Athena Robertson. And so, Elder Athena, tell them a little bit about yourself and how you bring sunshine and joy to the entire world.
Yes, I'm the sunshine expert. I love to share the joy that also gleans on the side of me. And so what gleans on the side of me, it is used on the outside as well. So not only internal, but external. And so all the great wisdom and knowledge that God allows me to speak to others about and encourage, first it starts with me. I have to encourage myself before I can encourage somebody else. So I'm super duper grateful to always encourage somebody else. I am also the founder of Joyful Hearts Transitional Housing Incorporated, men in the hearts of broken families here, right here in the Queen City of Charlotte. So just building one family at a time, and also cherishing these families as a community asset and not a community burden. So I am your sunshine expert. My newest project is I am a national syndicated radio host of the Sunshine Radio with your girl, the Sunshine Expert, every Tuesday at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on your lunch break and get motivational, inspirational, and encouragement for 15 minutes. Let me add all this sunshine to you. So that's what's new with me. And I am truly happy to be here. Always grateful to be here with my beautiful Freestyle Friday experts. And always thank you. Thank you to my sis. So that's one of the newest projects I'm working on. And I'm just
Congratulations. Make sure you put it over here in the private chat so I can put up here when people can tune in. I know you said it, but I like to be able to put it on the screen and put it over in the comment section. Everybody on your lunch break, make sure that you are tuned in and listening to our Sunshine Expert. Now has her own podcast for 15 minutes on a nationally syndicated radio show program. You do not want to miss that. And then also Sharon didn't tell you this, but she's over there dibbling and dabbling in TikTok. So make sure that y'all start following Sharon D. Brown on her TikTok at Sassy Sharon.
Sassy Sharon. Okay.
And she'll have you over there crying, y'all. So make sure y'all get your tissue or your cloth, like I always have a cloth. So make sure you have your tissue or your cloth ready, right? All right. So today we're talking again about transitions. And I don't know what angle we really want to start from, but because I told you all I didn't give you any parameters or anything. So I really just want you to speak from your heart. And anybody in the studio audience, if you're dealing with life transitions, I see one of our Freestyle Friday experts, Pamela Luhing, and she is Coach P. You do not want to miss connecting with Pamela Luhing because she will level you up. You got to connect with her. Okay. All right. So she said, great seeing you, Athena Robertson, and congratulations. So let's talk today about transitions. And when we think about it from a professional, spiritual, emotional, personal, whatever angle, what would you like to just start off talking about, Sharon? Let's start with you.
Yeah, when it comes to transition, the first thing that really comes to my mind is like, one, what is it? Because a lot of times people think about transition, sometimes they think about the end, and then sometimes they forget about while they're in it. And then even when they're in it, they're like, what is this? And how am I supposed to get through it? But if anything, transition is the process of you pretty much walking from point A to point B, but instead of physically walking, you're walking it emotionally, and that can be up and down, and you can be walking it spiritually too. And whether it's emotional or spiritual, one thing to keep in mind is that all transitions are natural.
Natural, okay.
They're natural, meaning that they're natural occurrences in life so that you can get to the next moment. Sometimes they're tests to check to see where you may need to be, what you have as well. And even though they can be, and most of the time we look at transition of being hard, sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not.
Right. Not everything's hard.
You know what I'm saying? But majority of the time it is. But if anything, if we kind of look at them as what do I need in order to get to where I'm going? Because sometimes we don't always have all the luggage, or we forget something. You know what I mean?
Yes. This is good. Take notes,
So when it comes to that, and then one part that I do want to make sure, if anything, regardless of where it is about your capacity, about your capacity to be able to navigate from point A to point B. But just know you're going somewhere, but you just want to know, again, what tools, whether it's the baggage or what tools I need to put in the baggage so that you can carry it with you. But yeah, if anything, it's a natural part of life, and it's there to get us to the next level, the next assignment, the next chapter in our life. That's the main thing to remember about it.
That's good. I want us to talk about that a little bit more, because instead of just only hearing the points and not getting a chance to chime in on them, because people don't know how to pack their bags properly. When I hear you talking about the luggage, it's a great analogy. And hearing how to pack the bags so that they are properly prepared for the next destination that they're going to arrive to. I would love for you to just expound on that a little bit more.
Yeah. So when it comes to packing the bag, getting the tools, kind of look at it. I always kind of say sometimes no matter how much you pack, you may never still be prepared. Right. But as long as you have the mindset to pack and know that you need to pack when you're in the transition yourself, you know that you're going to be okay and you're going to get to your destination. And so in one sense, let's just say, I don't know. I'm going to use pretty much like my story that I've talked about before, about, crying for 40 days and 40 nights. At that time in my life, I did not have yoga in my life. Now, I was exercising. I went to therapy, but I'm like, nah, I need something else. You know what I'm saying? So in saying that, I heard about yoga because I'm like, I need something to, make my heart rate go down because exercising isn't doing it. So within that, I went to yoga, and yoga helped, but meditation helped even more. And as I continued to practice and even learn more, I was able to go 7 layers deep, in which I needed to get to my soul. Because even though my soul was crying out, but I wasn't reaching it. And so you heard what I just said. So part of that too, when it comes to, it's not just a tool, it's more so somewhat of an awareness and knowing sometimes we just got to sit. We just have to sit with it. But because that pain is so much and we're not accustomed, we think something's wrong with us. And it's not. It's the natural thing of being human,
That's
so
good.
as long as you know, hey, I'm taking care of myself. I know I'm going to be okay. I'm feeding to myself. Again, telling yourself the things that you need. And if we're talking about telling yourself things, tell yourself the word of God.
That's right.
And I want to add this piece because I'm learning even more about words. It's like every time, I'm not going to say every time, most of the time when I'm on social media or YouTube or something about words, whether it's, coming from someone who's a pastor or spiritual or someone else, but they really talk about the words. And so in saying that, when you're in your transition, be very mindful of how you describe it, the words that you use. And that is because I would say humanly, we can't completely understand it, but just know there's something's going on with us spiritually and on another plane. So even be mindful of how you describe of what's going on with you.
That's right.
As it is said, wherever you're going, talk about that.
That's right.
Talk about that part of it instead of. So in saying that, yeah, it's okay to embrace the moment. Let's say crying for 40 days and 40 nights.
Right.
But I was in there for too long.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. Yeah, I didn't have the tools and this, that, and the other, and that's okay. But when you know, then you move, because
That's
moving is really important. And there's two types of movements when it comes to that. But
right.
again, to kind of make sure I solidify the answer, is the tools that you use, most of the time they're intuitive,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we ignore that. But if anything, listen to yourself, be able to sit down, embrace the moment, but also to be able to move forward too.
That's good.
And watch out for be mindful of the words that you use.
That's excellent. Excellent feedback. Questions or comments you have, Sunshine Expert, pertaining to what she's been discussing, what Sharon's been discussing so far?
Yeah, I was going to ask Sharon, what are the two type of movements and transitions?
Yeah, the two types of movements. One of them is physical, moving your body,
Amen.
physically moving your body. And
Mhm.
that can be in dancing,
Mhm.
they can be in dancing, it can be in walking, it can be doing twirling, whatever that is.
Mhm.
But there's something about you moving your body which is really important, because by being stagnating and even sleeping too much
Mm-hmm.
is not
Mm.
always beneficial.
Okay.
And then the other type of movement is more so if you think about momentum or
Mm-hmm.
taking action and executing or in implementing something. It's like whatever it is that you are learning along the way, something is telling you something of how to quote unquote move. But sometimes we may not move as quickly and things like that. But those are the two type of movements that's really important.
That's good.
That's
I,
good.
I love it. I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of times when people are thinking about how to move, you get that direction from our self-care expert who's saying the physical movement. And what was the second one? One more time.
Yeah, the second one is pretty much movement when it comes to action or
Mhm.
execution.
Making action moves. So that's going to require you to do something, to take a step towards something different than what maybe you've been doing already. And I'm really glad that you talked about how important it is to be able to have positive words in the midst of everything that a person's going through, because people beat themselves up so bad,
Mhm.
so bad. I'm speaking this weekend, and just so everybody, depends upon where you'll be watching this right now, the date that it originally aired is August 8th, a Friday, but you may be watching a replay in the future. But I'm speaking at a conference this weekend at Chosen City Church, and one of the things that I'm talking about is how important it is that we end up celebrating each other and celebrating ourselves as women. And I think it's so important how we speak to ourselves and what we put out into the atmosphere, because a lot of times we are our own worst enemy. And so I'm not going to go into everything I'm going to talk about, but that right there will preach. That's what I'll tell you. Sometimes it takes the devil to beat us up. It takes us to beat ourselves up, and we do the most
Mhm.
for ourselves many times over. I'll leave it at that, so I don't give y'all all the tips and everything before we get to the conference. Just make sure that we are a little more gentle with ourselves. So I'm grateful that you took that approach. Okay, Elder Athena, chime in. I know you're going to get some more time to talk, Sharon D. Brown, but I want to give you the floor. Elder Athena, Sunshine Expert Robertson. Talk to
Mhm.
us.
Yeah. So, the topic transitions, when you think about transitions, you think about change.
Yes.
Change is important. Sometimes people say change is negative. They don't like change. But if you know when you're in transition and you know to go to the next level, change has to happen. There's
Yes.
a change, there's a certain transformation that has to happen for you to go to the next level. So in transition, and it was so good as I was listening to our self-care entrepreneur, Miss Sharon, when she was discussing that we have to be mindful of our words we use, be careful of the things we do in transition. Not, yes, be very mindful. You got to watch your words, because words, there is power in words. So you have to be careful, but you got to watch your movement.
That's right.
Physical movement, taking action, movement, them are two great components. If nothing else you take from the segment today is you got to make sure you physically move and you take action moves. And so in that, in transition, right, and in transformation, when change come about, like she said, you can pack your bag, and even though we pack to the best of our ability,
Right.
we still might miss something, right?
That's right.
And in that, is that something we could get along the way of our journey?
You can always make a pit stop, right?
Can you make a pit stop and add that in? Like, you might pack the bag and forget, man, I forgot my Vaseline. Oh, you know what?
Not the old school Vaseline. You would throw that in
I'm
because
gonna pull up the Vaseline. But if it's not that you pick it up at the airport, you can get it when you touch down and land. You can go and pick it up. So it's not to get in a panic because you don't have it. Just be prepared to get it and to add it in. And so what I want to, when you think about transition, we can never prep enough, we can never plan enough, but if we have to add to it, are we making preparations to add to it? Then another thing that had hit me, thank you, Lord, was what if you have to do sudden transition? Sometimes when we're doing in transition, we have warning, or we know that we need to transition, so we can kind of prepare. We can prepare and plan for that. But what if it's very sudden?
Mhm.
Like, if it's like dealing with your job,
That's right.
or if you have to make a certain transition with like a loved one or your children, how are we staying on top of that? And that's, again, if you're taking care of yourself, like our self-care entrepreneur Miss Sharon said, you have to take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, socially. You have to get your rest, you have to eat properly, you have to exercise properly. That physical movement, like Sharon said, dancing. Some of us dance, some of us go to the gym, or even if you just moving at work, you in and out moving at work, that's
Mhm.
physical movement. So when you have to make a sudden change, don't get complacent or don't get stagnant, like, oh, what am I going to do? First and foremost, take a deep breath, because it's going to be okay. Transitions happen daily.
That's right.
Transitions are natural. They are natural. We're human. We are human. So sometimes it comes easy, sometimes it comes hard. It just depends on the situation. And every life situation and circumstance, there's transition in that.
That's right.
And so when you look at how you started, it could be totally different how you end. And that is growth. That is growth.
Yes, it is.
And in the growth, if nothing else, you guys heard me say on the show, celebrate you. Celebrate the victories. Even when there's nothing to celebrate, still celebrate you. Because of transition, the change is going to happen. The outcome is going to be greater.
That's right.
The outcome is going to be greater. And so that you prepare for that. So transition, to me, sometimes we can prepare for it, but if it has to be a sudden change, let's look at being in that moment. You think about what needs to take place first. And if you can, step away to prioritize. It's okay to step away and prioritize and then come back to it.
That's some good stuff. Yeah, I'm over here typing. I'm typing. I done misspelled your name on one of them, but I went back and
That is
retyped. I was
good.
like, I can't type fast enough. I'm like, celebrate you, celebrate your victories. Athena. I put Athena at first. Athena at first. But I want y'all to listen. Make sure that you know that what you're going through is not abnormal. It's some things that you are dealing with. And it's just the particular season that you're in right now. I'm trying my best not to talk too much myself today, since I'm actually a speaker on similar kind of topics. I'm like, anyway. All right. Yeah. What are you all dealing with in the studio audience that are some transitions that you personally are going through and you would like to get some advice? Again, this is a gift that we're offering to the community here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So we come into your home Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we don't charge any of you anything to come into your home, right from the comfort of your home, to learn these valuable tips. I do encourage you. And even if you're going to be doing it now throughout the broadcast, let me know that you did contribute to the Kim Jacobs Show, and I'll pop your name and information up. And Sharon, I should be popping yours up, even though I know you contribute in a lot of different areas of life pertaining to me. But I just want to say thank you, because you always pour into something that is involving attached to me in some regard. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And same with you, Athena. I don't have Freestyle Friday experts that come on and they want me to pay them. They actually come on and then they be a blessing to the platform.
Amen.
Go figure, as people say all this cliche stuff. But at the end of the day, these are people that do it in reverse order. A lot of times people are like, I'll be happy to come on if you give me $250, or if you give me $50 or $75 or whatever, then I will let my platform be used for you. And I'm going to get a commission of everything that you do. So it's a lot of, and it's nothing wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I train a lot of people on starting their own shows, and it's absolutely nothing wrong with that either, because that's the financial means of how people can earn their income. So don't get it twisted. I do believe you have to earn your money, but I just want to say thank you to both of you, because you all pour into the Kim Jacobs Show. Same with Dr. Lotus Richè. She has an emergency situation right now where she's not here. You saw her pictured on the flyer, but I do want to take a moment just to let you all know that we're praying for Dr. Lotus's family and dad. She's been putting it on social media, so I'm allowed to say that. But their dad and family member has been going through a lot of surgeries. So please take a moment to pray for somebody outside of just your own personal family. Lift Dr. Lotus Richè's family members up in prayer and what they're dealing with right now. But if you would like to support the Kim Jacobs Show, please take a moment and do so. These are some of the ways you can partner. I have audio podcast listeners on iHeartRadio, so that's why I'll verbally say some of these sometimes. It's paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at the Kim Jacobs Show. Some people prefer being a member of our Patreon club, which is patreon.com/the Kim Jacobs Show. And then Zelle or Apple Cash. You know how people do Apple Cash on your phones and stuff. Anyway, you can do that to 704-962-7161. And thank you in advance for your support. But I do want to say thank you to both of you, because you always support. All right. Studio audience, what do y'all want to talk about? So we're not on here just only talking ourselves. Let's see. I see Shoharat said, perfect. I see you, Shoharat, and glad that you're on today. Anybody else too? Anything that you want to talk about that you would like for us to deep dive on a little bit? I see you, Pamela, saying congratulations and thanking. And she said, thank you as well for the shout out. Glad to see you. And I see you all over there on Instagram as well. Some of you have joined over there. I don't want to leave you out. So please feel free to put your comments and I'll come and look at them as well. All right. When I think about transitioning and life transitioning, some of the things I think about too is the importance of acknowledging that a transition or change is actually happening. Sometimes we just be like, oh, we're in denial. We're just not going to even deal with it. But we have to acknowledge that something has to be done differently than what's currently happening in order for us to have a better outcome. So anybody have any thoughts on just how important it is to acknowledge the transition?
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, definitely. Acknowledging is really the first step, And it can also, just by acknowledging that you're in a transition, it can also help you with where you're going, because by not acknowledging, sometimes you can be stuck of where you are. You can stay stuck and going in circles and sometimes it can even be harder, in not acknowledging. And when it comes to transition, just like you said in the beginning, there's so many different types transition. Some of them can be minute, some of them can be really huge. But like Kim said, it is very natural, and I want to just highlight that piece of it, because what I've seen, like, even though I am a self-carepreneur, but primarily I'm a therapist. And so for one of the things that I've seen as a therapist, especially when people could be having a transition and then it can end up being a crisis. And then sometimes some transitions can be urgent or a crisis, but not all of them. And sometimes too, if a transition lasts too long or is too hard for someone, it can end up being, like psychologically and emotionally really hard for them. And so just in saying that, is that I guess what I'm saying too is that when you're going through the transition in and of itself, having, doubts, having that sensation that comes up in your
Yes.
body. Because what I've seen as a therapist, most people don't know what to do with that.
Yes.
Most people don't know, but that feeling that comes up through your body, that's natural. That's your nervous system to say, hey, there's something going on here. And you hear me talk about to take 5 to thrive, you know? And when it comes to that, again, doing some deep breathing. Some people say, I can't be doing those, I got this going on. But if you're like this, you're not going to be able to solve anything. You'll overlook something, and then your nervous system will end up being on overdrive. And so, kind of, we were talking about before of putting those tools in your baggage. That's going to help you too.
That's right.
But just know that that sensation, that nervousness, that fire that comes upon you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's
That's
very
good.
natural. And for the most part, for us being humans, and most people don't really realize, is that it's our job to overtake ourselves. That we're constantly having to say, hey, nervous system, come back here. Let's get back here.
That's good.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong. It's just a part of being human. And so the more that you use to take 5 to thrive, or whatever it is that you do use, the more it's going to help. Just hopefully you can remember at the time that you need them, just do them, continue to do them as long as it takes, where you can where you can use discernment. And that's the main thing. You just want to be able to use discernment when you're moving forward.
I love it. I feel so much better every time I'm around you. I feel like I just feel like I want you everywhere I am. And you know how you don't want to say that, you don't want to be like, I need you. It's like, no. I feel like woosha. When Sharon D. Brown is around, it's like I almost want to say, okay, well, when I'm traveling and speaking in different places, right? Can you just be in the room so that you can help do whatever I need to you be like people, you know how people have their like I don't know what they call them, the front runners, the hype people, whatever. But
the hype people,
I don't need that. What I need
cheerleader.
is somebody in the back room helping with these shoulder blades and right. It's like, Kim, take about 3 minutes before you go out there.
Amen.
How often do we do that? Just
Right. Just breathe.
Just breathe.
Yeah.
That's something that everybody, believe it or not, we don't do on a daily basis properly.
It is.
And when you have to teach people to take a few minutes to properly breathe, that means we got this thing all twisted. It's really out of sync.
Yeah.
And you all know, because personally, I went through some stuff. I was actually, for those that are part of the show right now, you'll get to know I was in the emergency room. And I was like, oh my gosh, you realize how important your health is when your health is at stake or in question. And you're like, now you're trying to figure everything out. That's not the time to try to figure. It's like, this is not the time for me to be trying to figure out whatever is going on that I can't put my finger on. No, that means I don't even know how to word it, because when stuff like this is happening in life, that's when everybody tries to start getting their affairs in order and stuff. That's not the time to start.
It's not.
It is not.
Like, the room is what it is. I was just trying to rush. I was like, they say go by ambulance. I was like, I ain't going by nobody ambulance. First of all, I got to stop at you. I don't want to use this as confession time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had so much going through my mind.
Yeah.
I'll need your counseling services. And then even this, I got my hair all done right. Got my hair all done up. My hair didn't mean a hill of beans when it comes to your physical body.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go on. Go on, Sunshine. Say something. Say something over there. I'm over here confessing like I'm over behind the screen.
But before she start, one thing I want to hone on in, because you were talking about just the impact that someone else can have on you, even though you were talking about me, I really appreciate that. But
Step away for 1 second, y'all. Go.
all right, what I wanted to point out is
Okay.
that is the benefit of having a circle. That's the benefit
Mm-hmm.
of having
That's
a
good, sis.
of being a part of something. Just like,
Mm-hmm.
the Freestyle Friday, this is a thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a
Right.
circle, even though it's different people.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me, I put it like this, later in life to really realize how important it is to be in circles and community. Because, like, how much, I can be social, but by nature, I'm an introvert, you know?
Okay.
But in
Okay.
saying what I'm saying too, because like for those of us who are business owners,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs, they always tell us, oh, you got to get in the room, you got to be in circles.
Right.
But when it
Correct.
comes to our own personal life, we don't
Right.
always see that. But one thing I
Correct.
would say, it is important to get in circles, especially when it comes to for our mind,
Absolutely.
for our body and all of that. So in saying
Absolutely.
that, I also want to let everybody know that I had created a circle, the
Mm-hmm.
Fortitude and Free Circle through school. And
Right.
this is your opportunity, especially for those of you who are business owners and leaders. This is the opportunity for you can come in and to get fed and fueled so that you
Oh,
can have the
yay.
fortitude to be able to do the things that you need to be done. Because when it comes to us of taking care of ourselves, y'all,
Mm-hmm.
me included at times at different seasons in my life, we
Right.
drop
Mm-hmm.
the ball. So we need reminders. We
Mm-hmm.
either need somebody to hype us up, to cheer
Right.
us up, and we need that inspiration, but we need the reminders for someone to say, hey, remember, we need to do this, we
That's
need to do that.
well,
But anyway,
I'm actually I'm going to put up, I want to pause and put
mhm.
this up so it'll be almost like an infomercial. I'm gifted at this stuff. I do training. As
Go
you
ahead,
can
sis.
tell,
Go
can
ahead,
you
sis.
see? Can you tell I train people on this, right? Okay. So take a moment, if you would, and invite people, because this is all that's going to be on the screen is you and this. I'm going to remove even my background for a minute. Hold on. So it's literally, I'm doing a shameless plug right now, but I'm doing it in
I love it.
celebration of a sister.
I love it. I love
That's a
it.
good thing. We need to
That's a
celebrate each
beautiful
other
picture,
more.
Sharon.
Okay.
That's a beautiful
Go
picture.
ahead. Sharon D. Brown, say something.
Yeah, I pretty much just really just want to invite individuals to Fortitude and Free Circle. And with Fortitude is Free, it is a circle pretty much for entrepreneurs and leaders so that you can build discipline, embrace challenges, and sustain your resilience. Because a lot of times we're not always training for the hard stuff, but also to be able to practice. And we're all about practicing the resilience. And there's a lot of things that's included in the circle. On a weekly basis, on Saturdays, we have the opportunity to really practice all of those things to help us be better leaders and entrepreneur. And then also, too, there's planning and co-working sessions as well. And as being a part of the group, we are able to communicate with each other of what we're going through, what we need help with personally as well as business wise. But if anything, it's for us to be reminded of ourselves. And so I invite you to the school circle of Fortitude and Free so that you can, be fortitude and free, because you can't be free if you don't have the strength to face adversity.
Come
Mm,
through,
yeah,
Fortitude and Free.
that's
Yes.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm also going to get over here and wait a minute. I'm just using this
Nice.
Freestyle Friday as an opportunity to do a variety of things, as y'all can see. So hold on. All right. All right. Listen, everybody, my name is Kim, and I am the host of the Kim Jacobs Show. If you have not become a part of the Fortitude and Free Circle with Sharon D. Brown, who is the Freestyle Friday expert, as the self-carepreneur entrepreneur expert on the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, in her circle, Fortitude and Free is going to help you really learn how to be free as an entrepreneur. How do you actually be accountable to other entrepreneurs that can help you on your journey? She has these circles that are going to be able to teach and train you, and you'll be able to learn from other accountability partners as well. So make sure you do not miss the opportunity to participate by scanning this QR code right there, this QR code. Scan it now and be a part of the Fortitude and Free Circle hosted by Sharon D. Brown, our Freestyle Friday expert on the Kim Jacobs Show. We don't take our experts for granted. We are honored to be able to support everything that they endeavor to do. So make sure you stay connected with Sharon D. Brown on Instagram at I am Sharon D. Brown, and on TikTok. She has some amazing TikTok videos, y'all. And that's at Sassy Sharon. Sassy Sharon. All right, there you have it. We got to support each other, right? You want to say something? You want to say something, Athena, over there?
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is,
no, I was going to do a plug for this. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, go.
So I'm glad you're here with the Sunshine Expert. And yes, I think it's very important that you take care of yourself, that you invest in yourself. So by investing in yourself, I think you should be a part of the Fortitude and Free Circle hosted by yours truly, Sharon D. Brown. Join her self-care, self-empowerment, building up greatness, and encouraging others. Please make sure you connect with my sister, my friend, Sharon D. Brown, for the Fortitude and Free Circle class.
Woo! So you know what? Life is so busy. And so I'm a really big believer on celebrating people. I love celebrating sisters and loving on everybody. And sometimes, genuinely, I'm not even exaggerating, sometimes it's just so much going on that I cannot be everywhere that I would like to be. And God knows our heart.
Yes.
He knows what our intentions are.
Absolutely.
So even on this platform, for this few minutes that we have together, it's like we're backstage doing our own recording, right? Like, what are we doing? We're doing what we got to do to make some things happen to support each other. That's what we're doing, right? All right. Go ahead and say what you were going to say, Athena. Back to the regularly scheduled broadcast. We're back. Go.
So since Sharon kicked it off, which is great. First, we have a comment. I wanted to read this comment before I share what I was going to say.
Okay.
It's a comment that I seen on Facebook. Is by Rafiki Fujiano.
Okay, let me pull it up for you. Hold on.
You gonna pull it up? Okay.
I sure am. I gotta just find it. Okay, come on. There we go.
So he was stating that transitioning is really hard, especially if people don't have support sometimes. You can know that you need to transition and that it is very necessary. However, going at it alone could be very detrimental. Knowing you need to transition and not being able to perform the task, let's say due to circumstances or situations that you are in. If there's sometimes no one to guide or are willing to take time to assist in certain aspects, could be the very reason a lot of people go down instead of thriving. That's good.
Go ahead. I want to say before you answer, thank you, Rafiki. This is almost like a dream come true situation, in my opinion, as a host, to have you type that level of comment and take that level of time right during the middle of the show to get your question answered and to share your thoughts. You're the ideal studio audience member. So thank you for doing that. Go ahead and answer the question.
Amen. So what I was going to say, when transitioning, and I'm glad he said that because that ties into what I was going to say. Let's talk about knowing somebody that's going through transition. And so I'm going to take it. I took it from the points of while I'm in my mental health studies and youth mental health studies, I wanted to share that we have to learn how to listen. Yes. Listen is very important in transitioning, not only transitioning with yourself, but when you know somebody else is going through transition, listening is like the number one factor for you to understand. A person needs you to listen. Also understand your presence is very valuable for you to just show up. Not that you show up and I come to do this, I come to do this, I come to do this, or let me give you steps from A to Z. No, sometimes a person just needs you to show up. To show up, you showing up with a piece of tissue if they're crying. Do you not know how important that is?
That's right.
Versus if you're sitting there talking and you're not really listening and you've missed the whole moment. And so now that person that's transitioning is sitting there looking at you like, yeah, I don't know where I should go from here because
You didn't hear me.
you didn't hear me. And so, and also in part of listening and part of showing up, when is the time to speak? Because there's a time to listen and there's a time to speak. Have your resources together. And not just the resources. And what I mean by that, if you know that person needs therapy, it's good to have therapy resources available. It's good to have mental health resources available. You have these things available. So now, once the person has, you have, because in that, you're building a relationship, you're building trust in that. And so, in that moment when that person is looking and seeking, you're already, you came to the point, to the place, to the assignment, to the session prepared. You came prepared. You came to listen. You showed up, your presence, you built a relationship with that person. So there's a level of trust. They trust you. So now the exit strategy is now you can offer what you need.
That's
Now you can offer what you need. So in Miss Sharon's in her academy, Fortitude and Free Circle, she's giving you the steps. She's giving you the Take 5 to Thrive. She's giving you the self-care. She's giving you the platform to open up, to be heard, for people to listen. And then watch this. People are gonna pour into you. They're gonna pour into you. And so at the end of that, not only have you taken better care of yourself, not only have you been empowered and encouraged, you got wisdom and nuggets that you can use not only for yourself, now you can share with somebody else, which is going to draw them to connect to Fortitude and Free Circle with Sharon D. Brown, because they want to know, hey, I want to get what you got. I'm going over there to see Miss Sharon for myself. So in transitioning, we have to, not only do we go through it, but when we're there for others to go through, when we're there to celebrate others, because it's not always about us. It's not always about us, but we can be selfless, not selfishness, but selfless and help somebody else. And so in that, we want to make sure we're listening, we're showing up, we're building a great relationship,
That's right.
because these circles and building these healthy relationships, as you heard Miss Sharon say, it's important. It's important. And it is important. When we grow up, we have friends, we have best friends. Then you got this clique, you got this clique.
Right.
But how about when we get older? They're not cliques, they're
No.
circles, they're
Yeah. I
friendships.
just
You value them.
I just told my two people this morning, I said, y'all are in my inner circle because they were
Yeah,
just reaching out about something. And I was like, this is important to me. The people
right.
that are connected to me are important to me. This is not just
Absolutely.
a fly by night situation.
Right.
Y'all are like
Very
necessary.
important. Necessary is very necessary. So that was the other part of transition, and I wanted to share as I was sitting here. That came in my spirit. I was like, yes. I was like, in my study time, and again, while I'm studying mental health and doing youth mental health as well, so that I can be better prepared to assist people. I assist people every day, daily. And I truly thank God for that. But in order to let me sharpen up my tools, let me sharpen up my tools so I can be prepared to assist. And so what I learned, listening and hearing is two different things.
You better believe
It
it.
is totally two different things.
Yes.
When you can hear something,
And not be
but if
listening
you take time to listen, it comes across so different.
very
The
much.
frequency is so different. So you're gonna have a different response to if you were just hearing it. But if you're listening, your response and your result is gonna be truly, truly different. So to answer Rafiki Fujiano's question, it helps to have a support system.
Yes, it does.
It helps that. And sometimes for not only for the freestyle, for my sister Sharon and for Kim, all it takes is for a person to speak to you.
Mhm.
And there the transition begins there because all that person was looking for somebody to listen.
Yep.
That's it.
So how we approach people, watch your words, watch how you treat people because people are watching. People are watching how you treat yourself, and they are watching how you treat others. A person should never say, nobody see me, nobody know what I'm going through. Oh, that's not true. That is not true. That is not true at all. If your family ain't watching you, your friends, and if you're a parent, if your children ain't watching you, you best believe when you hit the floor and leave the house, first and foremost, God knows everything. God sees everything. So that's already someone that's on you already. That's great in itself. But for people in the world to see you and they're watching you, so and that gentleness, that smile, that hello, that encouraging word, that let me pray for you today. Like Sharon said, these circles that are so important, our friendships, building healthy friendships. You just reaching out, asking somebody how their day is going, because you never know. You never know. You never know. So that's something that in this journey and how doors are opening, and to speak out more and to speak more to people other world. We have to learn how to listen. We have to learn how to listen and to show up, because believe it or not, you want someone to show up for you. So it matters. Always. If just one, it only takes one. It don't take it would be nice to have a whole group of 50 lamb honey. But just one. If it's just one, you're blossoming already. Yeah. That's what I wanted to share.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared that, because I want to also say that what happened yesterday with me, and y'all know the whole situation. I'm not going into detail. I canceled, just so you all know, I canceled today's episode. And I'm saying this because it goes right in alignment with what you just said. And all I could think about was, Kim, unless you are dead, right? Is there a reason why you cannot make yourself get in this seat? And and nobody knows what I'm even feeling or dealing with right now. But can you make it happen any way possible when Athena works in the school and she's taking her break, her time off from her job to be here today? And I don't want to be all emotional, but I already know the level of sacrifice that you all make to be able to. You're a part of trainings and things, Sharon, and you said, okay, let me make sure I budget this into my schedule. And then I cancel. I cancel because I was like, it's beyond my control. So I feel I didn't have a choice. So I'm like, the situation. And all of you all were so merciful when I attempted to get it back together real quick. But what you just said, Athena, further confirms that I'm so grateful that I decided to go ahead and just try to make it happen some kind of way. And God knows the effort and the intentions behind whatever it is that we do. I say all of that to say, y'all, make sure that you not just hear or tune in, but that you listen to Sunshine Radio, to the Sunshine Expert on her weekly show every Tuesday at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can tune in through WDRB Media, Apple Music, Radio, and Streama. Yes, so y'all make sure you tune in and listen to our Freestyle Friday expert, but yes, she's Sunshine Radio host now as well. And we're so glad to be able to support you in your endeavor. So proud of you. Comments, any thoughts? Sharon D. Brown.
Yeah, I just love everything that she was saying. Wow. That's the main thing I have to say. But I definitely do agree when it comes to listening. Listening is really so important. And so just in saying that, listening is a skill to build upon.
Yeah.
Sometimes for some individuals, it's not always natural. And when I talk about self-care, I'm talking about everything. So that means if we have to learn how to listen, self-care is learning how to listen. That's a form of self-care. It's not that you're doing it at the time, because there's so many things that comes up. Sometimes you could get triggered, even though that can happen anyway, but you can get triggered. There's so many things. So this is why it's good to be in a circle where that that's a thing to do, is to be able to listen. But that's the main thing, is that is so important in listening to yourself. Right. If somebody's coming to you, because the other thing too is that I've learned a lot of times most people really don't have the emotional capacity to support others when others are in
Mm-hmm.
transition.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yes.
another reason for our own self-care,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
to do the self-care before, may not quite be doing a little bit because you can breathe.
Right.
And then definitely the self-care afterwards. But
I
that's
love that too.
self-care is
I
so
like that.
important.
That
Yeah.
is
Well, this
very
is
important.
great. This is great because you're right. You cannot have the capacity to help somebody else if you
If
don't
we
have
don't put
the wherewithal to
ourselves.
yourself.
Amen.
So it has
Amen.
to start from
Mm-hmm.
within first before you can start pouring out to
Absolutely.
the overflow. Now, I want to remind you all this weekend is a women's conference. And again, you may be watching a replay, but if it's the weekend of August 8th through the 10th at Chosen City Church. I'm one of the speakers, but trust me, you're going to get so poured into. Is Pastor Walter Bowers is the pastor, Walter Bowers Jr., and Lady Tiffany Bowers are she's the conference host. And then I know my Aunt Irma, Elder Irma Mason, and my Aunt Sadie are members at Chosen City Church, and they are helping with this whole initiative. You actually see over there also Pastor Harriet Porter Jenwright is one of the speakers this weekend. When you hear her speak alone, your whole life's going to be changed. So make sure that you all in attendance for that event. And speaking of which, Pastor Harriet Jenwright and Bishop Anthony Elgin, right? They are celebrating 44 years in
Oh, wow.
ministry. So they are having their pastoral anniversary celebration Sunday,
Nice.
August 10th at 10 a.m. If you're able to go to the Druid Hills Academy, make sure that you go and participate. And then also, it's a lot happening this weekend, but this weekend also at Promise Fellowship Church, which is Sundays at 10 a.m. We meet right at the Brownstone Signature Events venue on University City Boulevard. And this weekend, we are going to be celebrating this lady's birthday.
Yay, Miss Ella.
So make sure that you know that right after our 10 a.m. service, we're going to immediately just serve some light refreshments. And then actually, I'm going to probably do it rather quickly because I want to go show support at some other things myself. So make sure that you come right at 10. We're going to do almost like an abbreviated service and then move forward with showing some support in other regards. I'm trying to make sure that we also show support for the 44th anniversary for Pastor and Bishop Jenwright. All right. So I feel like we talked a lot. I did want to remind you all again that we are now on CTR Media Network, streaming in 140 countries and all over the Roku, Fire TV, Android.
Yes.
We're there under the self-help improvement channel. So make sure that you all continue to pour into the Kim Jacobs Show so that we can continue to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. And if you are interested in starting your own show, we take 5 students and our class is going to be starting within the next 3 weeks. So make sure that you go ahead and let me know urgently if you're going to be one of the 5 students. Once we get 5, we cut it off so that I can devote the appropriate amount of attention to your needs and helping you create your show. Any closing comments, thoughts, y'all?
Ooh, so I just, you know what? Transition is natural. Transition is natural. Sometimes you can prepare, sometimes it comes at a sudden change. So give yourself grace. Have grace on yourself. Have grace and mercy. Grace and mercy on yourself, first and foremost. And then please extend that same grace and mercy to others.
And how do they stay connected with you, Sunshine Expert Athena Robertson?
And you can stay connected with me on the Facebook as Athena Robertson, as well as you can stay connected with me on Instagram at Red Honey. That's REDHONII, the number 7, or Joyful Hearts Transitional Housing hyphenated to the JHTH_CLT on Instagram. You can stay connected with me there. I look forward to talking with all of you. I accept all kind of feedback. Yeah, and if you Google me, you're gonna find me as well. So,
Oh yeah, Red Honey Sunshine. Google any of it. Okay, tell us a closing comment, Sharon D. Brown.
Yeah, pretty much what I want to say about transition. Not only is it natural, but sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's needed so that we won't be stagnated or to push us wherever it is that we need to go. And so that's the main thing I want people to remember, that it's natural and it's needed. And everyone can stay in touch with me at I am Sharon D. Brown. And then now I'm on TikTok, y'all.
Yes, y'all make sure y'all stay connected with Sharon D. Brown. And then in honor of our guest that was not able to be on this week, she'll be back next week, Dr. Lotus Richè. I do want to put her contact information up as well to let you know you can stay connected with Dr. Lotus Richè at Lotus at lotusricheignites.com, and also follow her YouTube channel and all social media platforms at Lotus Richè Ignites. And I have a video that's less than a minute here that I wanted to play since she wasn't able to be on today. And then we're going to disconnect. But let me just make sure I put this up so that you can see a comment from a big event that's happening for men specifically with Lotus Richè.
Calling all men. It's time to stand up and show up in Paterson, New Jersey for the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit, themed When Men Exhale. There are only 50 seats. It is a first come, first served basis. Get your tickets now for only $49.97. See you there.
All right. And then I saw, oh my gosh, I saw Dr. Vicki L. Evans, one of our Freestyle Friday experts.
I was going to say that.
He was commenting, what is natural, but being in the hallway of transition can be uncomfortable, she said. And it's time for you to come back on, Vicki L. Evans, our expert of many hats is what she is. If it's a life transition, it can be isolating. It's better to connect with someone who have had a similar experience that can relate to what you're going through, unless you know it's difficult to fully grasp what others are experiencing. So unless you've kind of gone through it, is what she's saying, it's hard to sometimes be able to relate to what's happening. And Dr. Lotus Richè, here she is dealing with an emergency, and she's typed, yes, your physical body being in great health is significant. And she also typed, we have to get and keep our affairs in order. She said, Friday said, oh my goodness. Dr. Lotus said, Freestyle Friday. Do we get everybody's comments? And
yes.
Also saw Anna Brothers. Anna Brothers hosts her own show called Sweet Blessings on CTR Media Network. So y'all make sure you check out Anna Brothers. Okay, she said hello. And that's Anna L. Brothers. Make sure you check her out. All right, I think I got everything in. Is there anybody I missed? I hope I did not. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. If you do want to be a blessing to Ella Spradley, which is my mom, I put her Cash App there somewhere, and it's Ella, is $ Ella Spradley. So make sure y'all show her some birthday love. She would never ask anybody. Trust me. She'd be like, I cannot believe you put my information up. She's not that person. So I'm doing it to just honor her for her 74th birthday. Yeah. So make sure you love. And even if you don't send her a Cash App, just call her, text her, say a birthday prayer to her, put something on social media, whatever. It's not always just about monetary stuff. Just show some love. I love you, ladies.
Oh, we love you, sis.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, love you.
Love you in the studio audience, and see you again Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show, bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show, and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you, and make it a great day.